What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David. I get a lot of questions on how to deal with negative people. So let's get into how to deal with these jokers ASAP. Let's go. Dealing with negative or toxic people is never more palpable than after you have had a spiritual awakening. Because now you are holding a vibration of conscious expansion. You are growing, you are expanding, you are in a state of allowing, a state of receiving. Negative or toxic people, they are in a state of resistance. They are contracting, they're not growing, they're not expanding. And opposing frequencies can't share the same space. So once you've had an awakening and you have negative people, especially if the people in your inner circle are still asleep, that's when you really feel that contrast. Because after you've had your spiritual awakening, it's like the blindfolds of indoctrination and fear have been lifted from your eyes, and you see through the lies of the environment, society, government, the fear-based dogmatic religions, the fear-based news media. You see through their manipulation and narratives, how they try to puppeteer you with your triggers. Remember, when you're emotional, you are easily manipulated, and the ones that control the media know that. So you take your power back by keeping your emotions in check. But I digress. But after you've had that spiritual awakening and you're considering the people in your inner circle, you start to wonder about their vision, and you'll ask them questions. How are you so blind? How are you not seeing through everything? It's so easy to see through everything that is going on. Why do you hang on to limiting narratives that keep you small and disempowered? All you have to do literally is just stop believing in that. It's literally that easy, and it will not have a hold over your life anymore. Why can't you do that? Why is that so hard to do? Take a deep breath, and you have to remember you also were once asleep. And in the same situation, you would have defended those narratives that keep you small and limited and disempowered. You would have defended them because those were a part of your self-identity. And we know that the ego is in charge of survival. So if the ego's perception of identity dies, that's a death to the ego. The ego's not doing its job. The ego is in charge of survival. So the ego's perception of self-identity, the ego kicks in that fight or flight mechanism. That person gets a rush of adrenaline. And then that conversation that you're having with that person is no longer coming from the aspect of, let me open my mind to a perspective that may actually better my life. They're coming from a perspective of survival, of fight or flight. And now it's just about them being right at all costs in the sake of surviving, or the ego protecting the identity. That's the ego's job. So, when someone is in fight or flight, the body redirects the blood from the brain to the extremities, which drastically decreases intelligence and cognizance, so that you can outrun the T-Rex that is chasing you. So you're never going to have an intelligent, logical conversation with somebody that is in fight or flight, because they're just worried about protecting the life of their identity, and it's just about them being right, because if they're wrong, then the identity dies and the ego has failed its job of survival. So we have to understand that most people are living from the ego, which is 3D consciousness. And if that's the case, we can cut them some slack. You're not going to be upset at a 5-year-old because he doesn't understand algebra, right? But that's not to discount their viewpoint on life, nor is it to give you a false sense of superiority because you've discovered something that they're not ready for yet. Instead, it's more of an opportunity for us to stop and go within and ask ourselves, why does their viewpoint trigger me? So when you've had a spiritual awakening, you will know that that is one of the most aha moments that you will ever feel. But if it's still new, then that new belief system may not have had a chance to sink down into your subconscious belief system yet. And you still need that kind of over validation and confirmation that your new belief system and your new self is correct. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that the sun is yellow, and you know that. Someone comes along and says the sun is purple. Now, you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that the sun is not purple, it is in fact yellow, and because you know this, you don't require additional validation or confirmation to your belief. And so their opinion means nothing. You don't you brush it off, you don't care because you know what you know. There's no emotional trigger there. However, if that new belief system has not made its way into your subconscious belief system just yet, and someone questions that belief system, especially if it's a belief system that you really want to believe, then that's where the emotional trigger comes in, because the ego says, oh, wait a minute. This is my new self. This is my new belief. I like this new belief. I like this new self. I'm seeing great results with this new self. I don't want to entertain anything that may be contrary to my new self, my new belief system. I'm seeing results with this, and then that's where that emotional trigger comes in, when someone challenges your new belief because it's not a part of your subconscious belief system yet and still requires additional validation and confirmation. This is why consistency is key. Daily meditation allows you to come into vibrational alignment with your true, eternal, divine nature. It is the repetition that allows you to get that deep understanding and the subconscious foundation necessary to solidify the roots of that new belief system and that new self-identity. This is why it's important to look for physical demonstrations and confirmations daily that your belief system is true and correct. You don't need a physician, a scientist. You don't need an outside authority figure to validate your belief system. If you are seeing the physical, tangible demonstration of this belief system, the confirmation of this belief system in your physical reality, then that is the positive reinforcement that your subconscious needs to make that belief system a core foundation. Now, another reason that you may be getting triggered is you are vibrationally lining up with that energetic 3D egoic aspect of this other person. So this is a good time to, again, stop, take a little bit of inventory and ask ourselves, what have I repressed? Or, what am I not acknowledging about myself that is in alignment with the way this person is thinking? More often than not, at least on some level, we're energetically matching up with that person's 3D vibe, and we don't approve of that. And we know this subconsciously, and when we encounter it, that's where the trigger comes from. But if we're willing to be honest with ourselves and we're willing to do the work, we can sit with that egoic emotion, that lower vibrational aspect of ourselves that we may not be approving of, that is now on full display with this other person that we're interacting with and it's bringing to our attention what we need to work on, and we can sit with that feeling, do a little bit of shadow work. If you're not familiar with shadow work, go watch my video here. What is shadow work? Now maybe you might be familiar with shadow work, but you may not have the techniques. So if you need techniques on shadow work, watch my video here, how to do shadow work. But when we can raise the frequency of those lower vibrational aspects of ourself, then there's going to be less things for us to vibrationally match up with, because let's face it, most of the things that trigger us come from a 3D vibration. So if the whole of you is more 4D or 5D, there's going to be less of a vibrational match with 3D things that trigger you. And if there are, it's a great time to stop, do this shadow work on those lower vibrational aspects of yourself, and get more of yourself out of 3D egoic consciousness. And remember, everybody is evolving exactly where they are supposed to be. When they are ready to move forward with a new paradigm, they will. Maybe they just need to be sick and tired of being sick and tired first before they're ready to move forward. Or, maybe they need to hit rock bottom first. Or maybe they need a tower moment, right? That snaps them out of their current paradigm and they're ready to move into a new paradigm that actually does empower them. When they're ready to move forward, they will come to you because you are leading by example, and you're not running around forcing people to try to see the light. When you are living your authentic truth by example, you're going to wake up way more people than someone that goes around preaching, because nobody can really receive a message before they're really ready to hear it, So live your authentic truth and the world will adjust. If you liked the video, then please like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, then please help grow the channel by clicking the subscribe button. Now, question of the day. How do you handle negative people or toxic people? Leave those comments below. Let's get an open discussion going with the Lightways family. I'd love to hear your all's negative people handling techniques. Yeah. Don't forget, you can also ask me a question over on IG, _Lightways. And I'm also doing one-on-one coaching now and making personalized videos for you guys. So click the link in the description below to sign up for a coaching session or to get your own personalized 30-minute video. Speaking of 30-minute, don't forget I do have the 30-minute guided meditation on abundance. Click the link in the description for that. Again, if you have Gmail, that meditation will most likely be under the promotions tab. And do not forget to smash that notification bell so you don't miss the twice weekly spiritual tutorials that I post. Is that everything? Oh, if you know someone that is having trouble dealing with negative people or toxic people, please share this video with them. It might give them the insight that they need to retain their peace and retain their power and step into their own divinity and greatest version. I think that is it, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. As always, light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.